Hello, everyone, and welcome to another fantastic edition of Dev Show and Tell. Friends with Code here. I don't really know what the name of the show is, but we thought since it's been forever since we were able to all get together, and as the season's kind of going from summer into fall, maybe we could do a show where we kind of said, like, hey, what did I do this summer? And show and tell some stuff that happened. Um, so I'm John. I used to work at Artsy with these two knuckleheads. I no longer work at Artsy. I got what I did over the summer was I got a new job. I am now working at Shopify here. They did not authorize me to be on this stream, so nothing I say is representative of them or their feelings. Yeah, so that's me. How about you, Steve?
Um, I also got a new job over the summer. I don't know what you guys planned to do here. I made a little um, slide deck.
Oh,
So it's a true summer report.
Nice.
So I'll walk through that. I think I probably have about 10 to 15 minutes of that before I finish. So that's what I got. Yeah, I used to work at Artsy also. And I
what's the
don't,
name of your
except
company
now
now?
I kind of work with Pavlos because,
Nice.
spoiler from my slideshow,
Hmm.
we kind of hired him a little bit this summer. The name of my company is Leanscaper, like
Nice.
landscaper, but lean.
Any of your
Um,
opinions represent them, or is it the same as John?
what's that? Yeah, I don't represent
Right,
anyone except
Disavowed.
I don't even represent myself with my
Okay.
opinions.
right.
Like they'll change in a day. Pavlos, you want to say anything?
Yes, I want to say hi. I want to say that I was also at RC. I'm not anymore. Uh, I guess my job of the summer that I got was with Steve, and then I have some other ones because I'm doing freelancing, so I have like three things happening, which is a little bit too much, a little bit too little sometimes. Whatever, it's fun. Um, yeah, and I guess that's it. I for showing here, I have one thing that I like made with the AI.
Ooh.
I can show you that a little bit. I've been using it like on and off. I feel like I can make it a little bit better and then start using it a little bit more.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Why don't we start with you, Steve? It sounded like that deck will be a nice, gentle way in.
Okay.
Pavlos, you can go next. I'll go last. I have some code to share.
That
So,
Nice.
sounds
Steve,
good.
take it away.
Yay. Okay. Um, remembering how to share. Still, I'm not figuring it out. There it is. Okay. Tunnels all the way down. Cool.
Nice.
Okay. So this
Oh
is.
boy, here we go.
It's coming, John.
Great.
Actually, I wanted to add another. I'm going to add another slide really quick. You're going to watch me do this.
Okay, cool. Good idea.
And then
Oh, Markdown, let's go.
yes.
Love to see a git ignore in your slide deck project.
Okay. We'll
You
talk
didn't
about
trial PowerPoint this time.
that. No. Okay. All right. So what I did this summer, a report by Steve Hicks. It's actually not only the summer; it's since April. That's the last time we did one of these shows, and so I figured I would go all the way back there because that's the last time we talked to each other. Like I said, I got a new job. I am now lead full stack engineer at a company named Leanscaper. I wrote an article on my blog called "What I Learned as a DX Engineer," which you can go read. Which, oops, I guess I just made that full screen. I'm gonna not do that because I'm gonna want to tab to things. Yeah, I don't know what the TLDR is about this. Let's just high level developer experiences glue work. I struggled to figure out if I was an engineer or product manager at the time. There was a lot of SEO work. Those are my three big things. But yeah, you can.
I
read
remember
that if
some
you
of
want.
that SEO work.
Yeah, it was like ongoing for like 2 years, not constant, but consistently lingering. So then the other thing, around the time that I got the new job, I also wrapped up a consulting gig, which was actually doing something very similar to what I'm doing now, which is around design system component library stuff. So that consulting thing was actually extremely timely and helpful for me to kind of spin me up a little bit for this job, and I appreciated that very much. So that was like May 1st, I think I started that. And then one of the first things I did was I hired Pavlos. I
Smart
didn't actually
move.
hire Pavlos. It is a smart move, right? Like if you're going to hire anyone, it should be him or you. But yeah, we just had a ton of front end work to do and not enough time to do it. We're using the Shape Up
Oh,
system.
interesting.
I don't know.
It's like a project management
37
system,
Signals.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And the idea is basically like you break your work into cycles. We do 6-week cycles with 2 weeks in between of wind down or whatever. And so then it's like, what do we commit to for 6 weeks? Like, so you can run experiments or you can build things. And then after the 6 weeks, like you can commit to it more if you want to build it more. But you also aren't just like
There's that check-in
working on
point
this
of
thing
yeah.
forever.
You're like recommitting every cycle or something.
Exactly. But so in one site, we had one cycle and enough work for me to do 2 cycles. So that is why we said we should have another person helping out. Pavlos was great, and he's been taking a little break, and hopefully we get him to come back a little bit later when he's ready.
Yep.
Oops. All right. So then I traveled, and you kind of alluded to this before we started the live. Some of the places that I went to Washington, D.C. The reason I went to Washington, D.C. was because my daughter was competing in the We the People national championships as the Wisconsin representative, which was pretty cool. And she and her team did fantastic. It was really fun to watch. It's basically
What is
like
We
a
the
mock-
People?
Nice.
Oh,
it's like
sorry.
a mock congressional hearing.
Got it.
So they have teams of 3 or 4 people, and then they have a panel of 3 or so judges. I think sometimes there were 4, and they have to basically present a statement about a specific topic related to the Constitution or founding documents of the United States or significant legal cases. And then they read the statement, and then they do a back and forth Q&A with the judges. And then it's like a purely like subjective judging scale. So it was really, really fun and really neat. And I keep hitting the
Is
wrong
this like a
buttons.
competition? Do they have like first,
Yes.
second, whatever?
Yes, there were.
Yeah.
I think there's like 48 teams that compete, maybe 32. I can't remember for sure. And then like they name a top 10, but it's the top 10 apparently is always like the same schools.
Cool.
So if you can get into the top 10 as not one of those schools, it's pretty notable. Not that our team did that, but neither did the other Wisconsin team. So. I went to Boise. This was actually in between jobs. I traveled to visit my college roommate who lives out there. It's very pretty. And then, as you would have expected me to do, we went whitewater rafting and almost died. That was really fun. The boat almost tipped. The person driving the boat fell in, and I had to throw a rope that's like wrapped up or coiled up inside of a bag. It's called a throw bag. I had to throw that across the river to save her, and then drag her in. Super fun.
For everyone involved.
Yes. Yep, exactly. And then we went to northern Wisconsin. We do this every year. This is a photo from like one of our cabins. We stay with my wife's family. There's like 3 cabins that we get between all of us. I take the same photo every year, basically.
It looks nice.
Through the trees, looking down on the lake. That's like a week long in June when we do that. This year, my older daughter was actually in Costa Rica for half of it, so she missed half of it. She was bummed, but we all had a great time.
Was it
Oh, go
was
ahead.
this little pole, the blue like circle thingy right in front?
That is a reflector. It looks like there's something in the ground right here that they don't want anybody to drive their car into. So
I see.
um,
Okay.
that's to prevent them from running into that. Yeah, one of the funny things, I don't know um, if you experience this when you lived in other countries, but in the upper Midwest where we get a lot of snow, you'll see a lot of these reflector type things
Mm.
when it's along the sides of roads and along edges, because you can't see the edges of things when there's snowfall.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this is like telling you this is the edge of the road. Don't drive here. Excellent observation. It does like totally like ruin the photo, right?
Did you try
Uh,
using AI to get rid of that, to remove it from the photo?
I did not. I did not.
Hmm,
Maybe I'll try that
shame.
after. I took a canoe trip. This was, uh, well, I almost said fun, and it was at times fun. It was also at times the most excruciating 2 days of my life.
Why?
We went canoe camping, which is super fun. So like we're canoeing down the river, and there's lots of sandbars, and you basically just pull up your canoes when you're ready to camp for the night and set up a tent, and it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It happens to be 2 extremely hot days where the feels like temperature was, I think it was definitely at least 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 35 ish, I think, Celsius. Um,
37.
rough 37. And no wind, no cloud cover. It was just the hottest I've
Nice.
ever been. Um, I I was miserable, conditions wise, and sleeping in the tent. The tent, I was like in my underwear, just dripping with sweat until 2 a.m. before it finally started to cool down. So it was the first time that I've ever been camping. We really like to camp, um, but this was the first time where I have thought while camping, I wish that I wasn't here right now. So mixed bag, very pretty. But while we were doing that, we also visited this amazing place called the House on the Rock, which has just a whole bunch of weird collections of old shit, like these weird old puppets. There's
Fun.
like just a ton of old dolls, uh, a ton of, I think you would call it, I think it's a calliope, basically like machinery that like plays music. So they'd have like this entire room full of just moving parts that played a symphony, um,
Yeah.
and a bunch of weird old circus equipment. It's just super weird. It's the strangest place I've ever been. And then traveled to Ohio. This is not Ohio. This is actually Notre Dame in Indiana. Because one of the things that we did in Ohio, we traveled to Ohio because my wife was doing a race in Sandusky, Ohio, home of Callahan Auto Parts. And we also visited colleges because my older daughter is going to college next year. So we visited Notre Dame, and we also visited the University of Michigan campus, which has this really pretty like
Cool.
legal or law library that looks like Harry Potter. Um, and that was fun. And then, so when I was in Boise, I ran a half marathon,
Wow.
as you would expect me to do when I went on vacation. Set a PR, but it wasn't as much of a PR as I was hoping because it was a downhill course, and I thought I was really trained up for it, and it was a little harder than I thought. And then immediately after, I stopped running completely. And I stopped biking, and I stopped swimming, and I stopped doing triathlons. I haven't done any of that stuff really this summer. I kind of burned out from it, and I wish that I hadn't, but I did. So instead, all summer long I was trying to figure out what should I do with my time. I still like to be outside. What I did is I started playing disc golf again, which I used to play 25 years ago, and haven't played in a long time. I bought some new discs because the ones that I had, I tried to throw them and they broke immediately, because that's what happens with 25-year-old plastic. And it's been really fun. I've been enjoying it. It's better now. Disc golf is better now. There are, at least I didn't see these when I was there. That little orange arrow in the photo points you to where the next tee is, and they
Whoa.
do this like many
Smart.
holes. It's fantastic. because otherwise you're just like walking around trying to figure out where the next hole is. There's an app named Udisk where you can like find any course and you can track your round on that app for free. It's amazing. And then also Dr. YouTube. I've been watching a ton of YouTube videos to try to help me figure out how I can get better at this sport, which didn't exist 25 years ago. I also started big boy golfing again.
Wait, but back to disc golf. So I assume that you've also resumed smoking weed.
No, you know what, John? I don't go when anyone else goes. I try to go early in the morning when no one else is on the course.
All those
which is
stoners are more
totally
like
different.
1 p.m. when they get out
exactly,
there.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, Steve's a serious athlete of disc golf.
Yes. I'm taking steroids before my rounds now, so please. I also started big boy golfing again just because I haven't done that in a few years, actually. And then I went golfing in June with my father-in-law and brother-in-law. Had like the best round that I've had in a really long time. So no, I figured maybe I'll just do more of this. And again, ChatGPT and YouTube have been helping me figure out how to get better at it. Did some art projects, all linoleum projects. So most of it's been making shirts. I've really enjoyed making t-shirts with linoleum. So carve it into the linoleum and then press it onto a shirt and stand on it to try to get it to transfer. So I made this shirt for my friend Peter, who was teasing me for a long time, calling me a crusty tag-along. And then I made a salmon for my roommate in Boise, who I was going to visit, because he likes. No, I'm sorry, not a salmon. Why did I say a salmon? It's a rainbow trout, not a salmon. I'm an idiot. I made this cool shirt. There's this band Hum that doesn't exist anymore, but I had this T-shirt that I got at a Hum concert a long time ago, and I still wear it, and it's one of my favorite shirts. But it really looks homemade, and so I thought it would just be fun to home make a Hum T-shirt.
That's cool.
And then this is the current shirt that I'm working on is maximize shareholder value with a yacht and heart $sign eyes.
Nice.
I trialed Apple Music.
Quick parenthesis there. In the salmon one, I saw this little like
rainbow trout
thingy.
Yeah, I experimented with adding
like
that.
your own...
I experimented with adding that. I don't like it.
You don't like it? I wanted to
like
say that this looks awesome. I really like it.
It's my initials. There's an S and there's an H in there.
Yeah, nice.
Thank you. Thanks for that feedback. I trialed Apple Music, and the reason that I did it because there was the news that dropped that the Spotify CEO was like spending, I don't know, $500 million. I don't know how much, investing in AI, military drones, and I thought, okay, well, I don't really want to support that. So I switched over to Apple Music to try it out with the 3-month trial that you get when you like get a new device. And it sucks. It genuinely sucks as an app. John's, this is just a conversation that I had with John. I like gave him a list of all.
Is it a conversation? I don't know.
It's not a conversation. It's a rant. But I just wanted to emphasize his response. Damn, dude, you have high standards.
Yeah, that comment was great.
I don't think that that's the case. I just want my app to work. Like, I want to be able to drag I want to add an album to a playlist and not have it added 100 times. I don't think that's high standards. I think it's just buggy, shitty software. And I think you're an Apple sheeple, John, for thinking otherwise.
How long did you try Apple Music for?
I'm still in the trial. I have about 3 more weeks before I have to decide. I was going to try to convince my family to switch over. The only thing I like about it is that the sound quality is a lot better. But that's
so after you stop using Apple Music, I guess, are you going to trial another one? Because I'm sure, I know that there are a few.
Yeah. No, I'm not, because Apple, I think, was the easiest one for me to convince my family to switch over to. And at this point, I have no chance to convince them to switch over to. I don't want to pay for both. I'm not going to pay for a Spotify plan, family plan, and another family plan.
Fair. Okay.
So I'm probably going to go back to Spotify, which is fine, because then, the Apple Music dude, gave Donald Trump a gold watch in office, and that was...
Yeah. So it's, Trump or War
Yes.
AI.
Exactly. Warmonger or warmonger. Struggled with AI. I'm not going to talk too much about this, but like I feel like Claude and Claude Code have gotten worse over the summer. I don't know if you guys have had that same experience, but I've really, really tried to make it work for me, and I've gotten to a point where I'm just like not even bothering half the time because I know it's going to be trash that I'm going to have to like
Hmm.
unwind or just redo or throw out. But I'm curious to hear more from you guys. And then probably the most interesting like technical thing is that I totally nailed down my aerospace configuration. Aerospace is the window manager that I use, and it allows me to create basically different workspaces, virtual workspaces. Not necessarily they're not native Mac OS spaces, but it allows me to keep doing this thing that I was doing before, where I was moving to different spaces accidentally. Um, I have all that attached to my shortcut keys, and then some of the I've talked about this in the past. The changes that I made this summer, I really intentionally tried to move towards the idea of transient workspaces. That's maybe not the right word, but like if you think about when when DevOps as a practice started, there was this phrase that people used that like servers should be cattle, not pets, which is like
Hmm.
horrifying. Like if you care about animals, but but
But
basically
it
the idea is like
expresses the transientness
yes,
of these servers.
you should not have to worry about rebooting your server. Like that's a horrible place to be. It means that you've got too much state, too much context there. What you should be able to do is just shut it down and spin up a new one and have all of the state and the context that you need. So that's kind of what I've been trying to do with workspaces now. Is I was previously trying to dedicate specific spaces to specific projects, and that worked. But like those projects changed, over weeks, and then I would have to go update my configuration. Now what I'm doing is you probably can't see this. Probably isn't big enough, but I've just have random names on them. So like
Yeah.
I have 1, 2, 3 are dedicated to specific things like communications and to dos, and then I have A through F, and I name them after HTML colors, except for one of them, which I don't remember which one it is. I think it might be Emerald because there was no HTML color that began with that letter.
Mm.
But
Nice.
basically, I can just like move something to deep sky blue, and then I know that I go back to D when I want to work on that stuff, and then that basically that workspace usually finishes. I finish work on that workspace within a couple days and like completely close it out. So that's one thing that made a big difference. I keep hitting the wrong keys. And then I also added some shortcuts to find the first empty workspace, which
Hmm.
plays along with that. So I can say, oh, if I'm in a window, I want to move it to the first empty workspace that I have. I don't really care what it is. And then I'll do that, and then it'll move it there, and then I get a little notification that tells me which workspace it was, so I can remember. And then that also pairs well with something that I added, which is just I have an open browser command that, depending on which key I hit, it either opens in my personal profile or my work profile, which is how I like to separate things within my browser. And so often what I'll do is I'll just be like, okay, go to the first empty workspace, open a browser, and go do the thing. It's pretty great. And then let's see. I have also added something to apply a layout to all windows in the current space. This is basically like when I move between my between working at a coffee shop where I'm just on my laptop screen and working at home here where I have a big monitor. I have more space here. I want these things. I usually want these things side by side like this. But when I'm at the coffee shop, I want them like this. So this is just a shortcut that allows me to basically switch between those easily. And I actually, when I was writing this all down, realized that I had added one to do that to all of my open spaces. I had completely forgotten that existed. So this is what I should be doing. As soon as I unplug my computer, go sit at the coffee shop, run this command, everything will be in this tiling mode instead of the or accordion mode instead of tiling mode. So that's great. And then I still have a restore command that I need to figure out, which is like once I reboot, I want to get the windows back to the spaces that they were originally assigned. That's something that doesn't come for free. I've been making progress on it, but I haven't finished it. And that's it. MARP is the name of the tool that I used to build these slides. The end.
Nice.
I was wrong.
Nice.
It's about 20 minutes.
Yeah, that was great. Just about 20 exactly.
Stop sharing.
Yeah.
Cool.
All
Thanks
these.
for my TED Talk.
Thanks for sharing. All this aerospace stuff sounds really nice. I like the idea about the like your home monitor and like the coffee shop
Sure.
layout
Yeah.
thing. That's really nice. And I would definitely like to see more details about this at some point.
Okay.
And about so I wanted to ask you about the transient spaces or the naming, I guess that you said. So how is this different than before? Is it just because to make a named space for something is like more, clicks than
Yes.
not doing it?
To name the space, you have to change you have to go into your
To config
aerospace
file?
configuration file and change it there. And that's just a pain. I don't want to have to do that. Yeah, that would be a fun thing to do, would be to actually like add a command somehow that allows you to go change it dynamically,
Sure.
and then
Okay.
reload the configuration, which I
Okay.
don't know how you do that, but because I think it's all like it's all the YAML file. I think I don't think you can do inherit other files through YAML, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Nice.
Yeah, I could,
Cool.
if we have time at the end, I can show, or sometime when we're hanging out.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Thanks, Steve. I'm going to throw it over to you, Pavlos.
All right. Yeah, I can show you what I've made, which is a little bit related, I guess, to all the aerospace stuff. I still haven't tried, actually aerospace yet, so I'm still struggling with like all of the windows and everything. So what I have is I like the idea of tiling windows or like tiling window managers, but many times I want some overlap between the windows, because if I just tile everything that I need, they become a little bit too small or a little bit too weird to handle or whatever. So every time I enter that land, I'm quickly like confused and lost and frustrated in the end. So what I end up doing is just like I have all these like snap corners, whatever, like
Yeah.
to have like 1/3 or 2/3 or half or whatever, and that's all fine. But sometimes it's hard to like swap between the windows, and now I can share, I guess, and show you. I'll share my whole screen here. Okay, you can see my screen. Yes. So
Yes.
yeah, sometimes I have like usually my browser over here, and then I have say some code or whatever over here, and then sometimes I have like a simulator running. I just open up one of those, and just a couple of things like Figma or whatever. So I end up just moving these to the places that I need. So usually, like if I have a terminal, like and I have it like over here, like this kind of style, but I leave enough space for my for my like browser over here, and then I have like this, and then sometimes I put the simulator in here. I don't know why it's not opening, but we can just simulate it with this, I guess, right? Just like something like that. And then sometimes I end up moving this over here, and then I need to do, I need to do this whole dance with like, oh, where's my browser over here? Oh, where's my whatever over here? Where's my whatever? So I was like, I need to find a better way for this. So I opened up Cloud Code one day, and I used this Hammerspoon already. If probably you both know Hammerspoon, right?
Never heard of it.
I was
Okay.
using it for a little bit to move from a window from one space to the next space, because there's no automated way to do it with native spaces.
So basically, yeah, it's just like kind of automation with Lua. They have a bunch of APIs for like moving windows or applications, whatever. They have a lot of like you can fake key uh, presses or mouse clicks, or it has a bunch of stuff like that. So that's pretty nice. And I had that already installed, so I was like, maybe Cloud can just make a thing for me. So basically, this is all of the code. We don't need to like look at it because Vibe coded it, so who cares?
Yeah.
But the whole idea was like, I told it, I need to like click or press command control something, and then press W, and then W would be my like web browser, and then F would be my like Figma. So then I can just hit command control F, and then no matter what's in front, Figma would pop up and come to the front. Pretty simple idea, and I'm sure there's other tools like this. So now if I have, for example, Figma and I hit Control Command G, it tells me press a key to assign, and then I hit F, and then it's assigned. And then if I come to say, this one, and I hit the same one, and I say this is the editor. Now if I hit Command Control F, Figma comes in front. And if I do the same with E, the editor comes in front. So usually, I'm trying to do like the editor, the browser, the simulator, the terminal, and Figma. So like not too many things. So it's easy to just do like just on the left hand of the keyboard, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you saw this pop up, but I asked it to make this as well. So all of this is a hammer spoon, like all of the like pop-ups and things. So I told it, if I hold control and command without pressing anything, just like tell me the mappings that you currently have.
Wow.
That's super
And
nice.
that's pretty nice. Obviously, if I move my mouse, we have like weird things happening because of the I don't know, Raycast, whatever is holding control and command as well. But whatever, we'll figure that out at another point. And then one other thing that I made, so like, if this is the simulator, for example, put this in S and then put this in the, I don't know, W, whatever. So then, now we kind of have all of these ones. And then the one extra thing that I added is to clear all of this, because sometimes if I move to another like space and I need different like things to work on and blah blah, that I did actually yesterday. It was just I kind of kept it open just to see, but it was basically somewhere around here. I told it like just look at it, and I need to just like be able to clear them with the delete key or whatever. And now if I hit command control and backspace, they're all gone. So now if I hit command control F, nothing happens. So yeah, that's kind of everything. I looked at the code a little bit, not too bad, but like 400 lines. I guess it's not that bad for this. Whatever. Yeah, it has some like
I'm sure it has unit tests and stuff too.
I was just gonna give him shit about tests.
Yeah, no, it does. It has no testing. My testing is my own testing, and if it doesn't work, then
even if it
QA.
had tests, I don't know that there would be real tests.
QA. Exactly. I mean, how would you even test this? Like a Lua thing for controlling
Make
your
Claude.
Windows? I don't know. I'll try it. I'll try it afterwards just to see what
it's not your responsibility to write tests anymore, Pavlos.
Yeah.
It's the future.
Yeah.
The robots write the tests. They also write the code.
Exactly.
This is cool.
Yeah, that's kind of what I made. Yeah, not perfect, but definitely better than I had before.
It works for you.
So yeah, just trying it out a little bit in the last month or so.
It's cool. It's interesting. You and I have similar workspace habits, but they're slightly different enough that like what works for me wouldn't work for you and vice versa. But also like we've each solved them in ways that make sense for what our habits are. Like I never have more than if the most windows I'll have on a space is 5, and I hate when I get to 5. 4 is perfect because then I can make a nice grid. 3 is nice. 2 is the best. Love it when I have 2. But because they're so tiled so nicely, I just use the commands to basically move left, move up, move down, move right, and like that's how I get around between things. But I love that like overlay effect, and I think that that's something that I would definitely use.
Yeah, that's kind of nice. I don't know.
Just a reminder, like how do I get to that window?
Yeah, I oftentimes have like way more than 5 windows happening. Like if you add another one for like the Git stuff, and then another one for like the backend whatever, and it just gets like too much. So I needed a way to like have access to all of them quickly. But yeah, who knows? Maybe one day I'll do tiling stuff in the future.
There's definitely a shared hacker mentality between you two about this. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're doing good on time. I think we've got about 24 minutes. I'm going to share my screen and not hit the leave button, but instead do this button. Okay, so what I wanted to talk to y'all about is a project I've been working on. So you probably, or maybe I've talked about how I have a Ruby on Rails application dashboard that I hack
called
on.
Monolithium.
Called Monolithium.
Yeah, which is great for the wallpaper there.
Yeah. And so it has a bunch of different pages. Some of them are behind a little off and some of them aren't. I've been adding some like CRUD pages to like have like an admin interface. But I got this idea.
Maybe not quite meeting accessibility.
Yeah, this is really for me, not for everybody. But I had this idea where I sometimes would be like on my personal machine or on my Shopify machine. And I'd want to like share some snippet of code between these two machines. And, like before Shopify, I would always sign into my Apple ID on my work machines, and then I'd be able to use like iCloud. So for example, I could like open the Notes app, and like when that syncs, then the things would be on all my machines or whatever. So if I had, I don't know, some token or some password or something that I just wanted to share between machines, it was like not that big of a deal. But with Shopify, they actually like disable, like they have a lot of like laptop management stuff that I'm not used to. And one of them is that you can't sign into an Apple ID on the machine. So anyway, all this to say, I had this idea of it'd be cool to be able to just like share some snippets of text between my machines, make a web page for that. And I sat on that for probably like 2 months. And then I was randomly surfing on the World Wide Web, and I bumped into this idea of something called a vanishing box. So this is a little doohickey in the Magic community where you can like put something small into this box. You see it, you like close the box, you reopen it, and then it's gone. And the trick is like, how do they construct the box? So anyway, so I just like basically use this idea. And once you have a good name for something, you must build it. And so here's my vanishing box. I go over to Chrome and make a new window, and hopefully I'm signed in. We'll see in a minute. Let's just go there. Yeah, okay. Dashboard.
What's the admin password?
1, 2.
Oh, you guys, I thought I was already signed in.
Oh, we get to see all your passwords? Thanks, Sean.
You saw nothing. Okay, so once I'm in the vanishing box, so here I'm going to do left side and right side. Okay, so I can just say like hello and hit add. And so all that's really doing here is using WebSockets to spit these things out in this part of the page. And like any good vanishing box, if you look again, then the thing is empty. So I've used this a couple times to, like I say, like paste, I don't know, like a URL to a thing that I needed, and I can use this on my phone or anywhere I just want to like get some snippet of text. And I can just come in, kind of copy and paste that. Okay, so then like, like this hacker mentality that we mentioned before, I was like, what I should do is make an API endpoint for this. And then I should be able to hit this from like my terminal and have that same thing where I can post something and have it show up in the vanishing box. So I did that. And I made a little controller in my API. Oops. And so, yeah, you can create on the vanishing messages controller in the API, and it will do the same thing. But then I was like, I don't want to just like have to remember curl commands or something. What I should do is make a Ruby gem that wraps this, because yeah, of course, because then I could, have it kind of like make a CLI for me. So I made a CLI, and actually I can just like, so this is installed as a Ruby gem on my system, and I call it MLI. So there's the thing. I can say vanishing messages create, and then it's like body foo. Oh my God, poof. And then, yeah, so it's here. So now from the command line, I can put something in my vanishing box. But this is just a Ruby gem. So I can even go into an IRB session, require MLI, and then MLI vanishing messages, create, body. Hey, it's there. Okay, so then if that's cool, shouldn't I really never do that? And shouldn't I just have like Claude do this for me? So over the summer, something came out called MCP, Model Context Protocol. And so you can make a server on your local machine that exposes tools to your Claude. So here I made a server, and it has this vanishing box command. So I can tell it, hey, put show and tell into my vanishing box. And then it will make that call, and here's show and tell, now my vanishing box. So the way this works is that I have a server called John Text. So this is a smash up of John and context, and I'm using the fast MCP Ruby gem. I expose a server. That server has registered a tool called the vanishing box tool. Oops. And the vanishing box tool, simply use it like I've required the MLI gem. And so then now I have access to that same thing I was doing in the IRB session, where I'm just piping through, whatever comes into this call method into that create method. And then that sends it to the vanishing box. So it's like Claude to John Text to the MLI gem to API endpoints over to Monolithium, and then over WebSockets to Chrome. Make sense?
Makes sense. It's incredible.
Nice.
So I don't know if it's incredible, but it was super fun to make. And like now that I have these pieces of plumbing in place, I have more ideas. I've been keeping track of my reading. So I have a reading list. Is that what I call it? No, what's it called? Reading. I just go to the dashboard. Reading list. Oh, okay, right. So I've been like keeping track of my reading. These are just book records in Postgres. I could provide this as an API endpoint and plumb it all the way through, and then I'd be able to tell Claude, like, hey, can you remind me, what was the last book I read, or have I read this book, or those kinds of things. So I just had like a bunch of ideas now that I have this plumbed together, where I can kind of continue exposing like my Rails app up into Claude, and like what can he do for me.
Nice. This is such a cool project for like demo purposes, because it like does one thing, one simple thing.
Yeah.
But now you've got 7 different ways to do it, or like each of these different
3 different wrappers
along the stack to do it.
Yeah.
Which is cool, because like if you were to do something more complicated, you could look at it and say, oh, if I need to do the MCP layer, like I have a nice, like, simple, small example of that.
Totally.
But also all the other ones.
Yeah, so all this is on my GitHub if people are interested. Let's go here.
So if you go to your Vines inbox now, it will be empty again, right? On the left side, I guess.
Let's see. Yep, and you can see even when I just backed,
Okay.
Used my browser back button, it was
So
already
there's no
gone.
state. There is just if you're there, you get the next thing.
That's right.
If you're not there, that's okay. Cool.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Okay. And MLI, I guess, is the monolithium.
Yeah, so monolithium is the Rails application, and then MLI is the gem, and this gem exposes, the MLI command line tool. So that's like in the exe folder, there's an MLI. This gets added to path, and then it just requires MLI and MLI CLI. This is a Thor-ism. Thor is like what powers Rails, and I don't know, like 95% of the Ruby command line tools out there. So I didn't do anything all that interesting here. I just like reached for whatever the dumbest, easiest tool was that Ruby provides. But yeah, so then, like I have MLI. Yeah, so like I didn't even push this all the way through to main yet, but like I have all these, wrapper classes around the endpoints, and then they're exposed up into the CLI, and the CLI just like delegates to them. So now here I'm just saying like, I'm calling almost like a model here, and this is almost like a controller that's spitting out, like this is what's writing the standard out.
Nice. And then this fast MCP thing, the server, though, it's running on the same like server that Monolithium runs already, right? I guess.
No, it is a standalone server. So it's a standalone project, and the way you configure this is in here. Where's this go? Settings. There's a developer area, and so you can tell it. Let's see, open with. So you can configure it with the JSON file, and that JSON file includes an MCP server name, like what command to run. So this is like I'm using ASDF to manage my Ruby, so I have to tell it where Ruby can be found, and then I need to give it a full path to the server RB file, and then it will instantiate and like stand everything up for you. So you don't even really have like this. You notice that I'm not giving it like ports or local host or anything like that. Like this is all local, but it stands it all up for you. And so what you're meant to do is, so here's the server. So the server basically is requiring fast MCP, making a server and calling start on it. And the contract between what you're building here and what Claude Desktop is doing is that it will invoke this with Ruby and then begin sending, it's almost like RCP commands. Like it's a really basic client server protocol. But I didn't want to build any of that. So I got to just, do fast MCP server new, pass everything in, and then it does all that communication for me. All I need to do is like register the tools I want.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. And then again, this is on GitHub too. So the actual plumbing for it was extremely minimal. I just had to require the MLI gem, and then what I ended up doing is just like plumbing through here like this.
Nice. So if you wanted to add like, let's say for Claude to read from there, like whatever is more complicated, but like let's say you wanted to just add a separate command, where would that go in this?
Yeah, code? Let's do it. So let's do ping tool.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to call it ping tool. We're going to require relative. Just so I remember some of this, we're going to take all of that. So we call it ping, give it a description. Ping my server. ping server. I don't know.
So
No
that's
arguments.
okay.
Yeah, so ping server
I
becomes
see.
like what you see.
Yeah. The available tools that it sees on MCP.
Yeah, that would be like in here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
you'll see it in a minute. Okay, so I got that, and then I need to do get, let's say, takes no args, and so then this would be like ping. I think it's called get. So then that's like server time. And then what? I guess we need to like echo back. I actually kind of forgot how this goes. So this will be a bit of an experiment. Let's see if that's, so I think I need to return JSON. So that's what I'm, or maybe this needs to be like this. Let's try that. Okay, so now I've made a change to my server. There's not like a running server I can reboot. Instead, what I see in the docs is like quit and like do it this way. And if we go here and we go here, we now have a new tool. So then I can say like, please ping my server for the time and show it to me. And then because it wants to give, like some securities, we have to say always allow. Yep.
Sure. Okay.
Many of these. Oh, okay. So you can't just call it whatever you want. You have to actually call it that. Okay. So then the workflow is to reboot Claude. Go here. And then I'm always like, okay, try again. It's not a terrible debugging companion. So yeah, you see that.
Yeah.
You got it back.
Okay. Nice. Oh, that's pretty easy.
Now, I will also say, you might have noticed, I'm just using like free Claude Desktop. This isn't even like, I'm not like spending any money to be able to integrate with these MCP servers. This is just like native functionality to Claude Desktop.
Can you double check that conversion for me?
What do you mean?
September 6th.
3 days.
Just start the new MCP command quickly for date conversion.
Non-deterministic
right.
tools for deterministic problems.
Hey, look at that.
So you just need to tell it one time that it's wrong, and then it will actually try.
That drives me crazy.
Thanks for catching that, Steve.
I still don't think it's right. I still don't trust it.
It's probably right.
Yeah,
Isn't it like...
I mean, it's right for Greece.
UTC, right? That's right. Yeah, I don't know how it got that wrong.
Is it right?
Funny.
Huh. I can tell you how it got it wrong. It's just making shit up.
Yeah, it's like whatever's time now.
Nice.
Yeah. So next steps for this plumbing are to continue to build out like the pipeline of APA endpoints on Monolithium, the commands and the classes in the gem, and then surfacing whichever ones I want to the tools. I've read a little bit about like best practices on these MCP servers that, you might be tempted to expose every tool you can think of to the models. And what ends up happening is it gets overwhelmed and it makes more mistakes. And you're actually better off limiting the number of tools you expose to only those that you actually needed to, to get done what you're trying to achieve. So I'm trying to like ride that, ride that threshold and see what I end up with. So.
Interesting.
Okay, where this? Stop sharing.
I have two quick thoughts about this. Firstly, every time I see like a Ruby project, I'm surprised at how few files of just like random junk around the project you need compared to TypeScript. Like I've done MCP stuff and it's just like 20 billion files for like one of like my actual code files. So that's nice. I'm a little bit jealous about this. And then the second thing, I was this last thing that you said about the MCP, like how much to expose, how many commands or whatever. I've been messing this whole summer with MCPs and trying to like get a few MCPs together in Claude and then have Claude do like a specific workflow for me. So for
Sure.
example, I have tried to like enable my like the things like the to do app that's called Things MCP, and then also the calendar for Google, and then the file system MCP and the browser MCP. So like a few of those, and I've been trying to do kind of like a workflow where, you know, if I have like a specific to do, put it on my calendar, and then like, you know, go grab a PDF and just like do some stuff. Blah, blah. I'm not successful with all these things yet, and I found that a few of so there's a few calendar MCPs that I thought were very limited for like they couldn't do all the things that I wanted in my emails, you know. And I wonder if, you know, if this is something that like what you said is the reason, or if it's just like people just did it for like a proof of concept and then they just like gave up, or like who
Sure.
knows. But I can totally understand this, like, you know, it's gonna just get lost if it gets everything. And sometimes even with, like, I've tried the iOS simulator MCP and it does get lost sometimes there. Like, and it doesn't even have that many commands. It has like 12 or something, you know. But like sometimes it would, instead of like tapping on something, they would try to like first screenshot and then
Oh, okay.
tap. But like the screenshot doesn't do anything because like it taps based on pixels. So like what's even the point? So it gets, you know, it has this whole thing. But pretty interesting. I don't know. Interesting, promising AI.
Interesting, promising, still kind of, I think we're all still trying to figure out like what is a good use case,
Yeah.
what is a good strategy for using AI well. One thing that I'm at work really starting to hone in on is you should actually try to, so AI is a non-deterministic machine, right? Like you can ask it the same question 100 times, and some number of those times will be the same answer, and some number of those times it will go off the rails. Maybe that conversion of the timestamp is a good example, where it's possible if we replayed that scenario 100 times, we could probably bucket, you know, 50-50 maybe is the success rate. Or anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to say that what we've learned at work using this non-deterministic machine is you are better off relegating AI to as little of your workflow and your process as possible if you want repeatable results. So in the scenarios you're describing to me, I'm like, what can you script yourself that you know will do the same thing every time? And what can you really focus your workflows to so that AI's non-determinism is the least buggy or the least impactful, or least off the rails as possible? That's what I'm coming around to.
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe
that's
reading
fair.
the PDF is the thing you know, like translation is what you really are interested there, and the rest of it, like how can you script it yourself and get AI out of the mix?
Okay, so just keep it like super focused on just do this whole little thing. The rest, just, you know, do it otherwise.
Demos of it doing everything are fun, but if you want it to be right, and in the context of the work that I'm doing, we want it to be correct. Like we care about correctness, and you gotta limit its impact on your correctness rate as much as possible.
And the kind of annoying thing is that, so one of the things that I was trying, it was like filing some PDFs or like files in my download folder to, you know, the right place. So it was doing
kind of like a categorization operation.
Yeah. So it was just like, you know, some PDFs, and I was like, you know, this is the PDF that's for that. This is the PDF for that. So that, just like look at it and then see what matches more. And it was doing a pretty good job about this. So then,
I believe
you could also like rename it and just like file it, blah blah. So I had this instruction at the top that said like, before doing any file change, just like double check with me, so like always do a dry run kind of thing. And 9 out of 10 times it did it, and then one time like one day just decided to do it and then overwrote some files, and I was like, okay, undo this, and then just like never do this again. Like
Yeah.
so I have to like start fighting with the AI. So I don't know, this is a little bit annoying, but yeah, maybe what you're talking about is the best way. Like help or have the AI if you want write the script, but then just like have it only do very specifically like focused things. Yeah, that makes sense. That's cool. Interesting.
We did it.
We did it. That was a great show and tell. I feel like I know what you guys did this summer. Hopefully, you feel like you know what I did this summer, and we can move on to sharing other things next time.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
sounds good.
I bet they're going to
guys.
be AI related.
Hopefully, or maybe.
I mean, I would love to
Yeah.
see you guys working successfully with it, because
Yeah,
the
no,
only
that's-
thing I'm finding it useful for at this point is ideation, telling me different ways to try something. But as soon as I want to actually do something, just leave that to me.
I have a
definitely
theory
noticed-
that like not every language and like thing is like getting the same results.
Yep.
Mm.
All right, friends. I'm gonna hit this button.
All right. See you guys.
That was really nice.
Bye.